Halito, everyone. Author Sarah Elizabeth Sawyer here. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and do a video review on Jocelyn Green's series, The Windy City Saga. I love this series for so many reasons. It starts in the 1870s with the Great Fire in Chicago that absolutely devastated the city. And I've read some other books set in this time period and around this event. This is the best one. I loved the family relationships. That really was the highlight for me in this book series, and especially in the first book, Veiled in Smoke. We have two sisters and their father who is suffering from what was known then as soldier's heart, what we know today as PTSD. They own a bookstore. How perfect is that? And just what they endure on a human level, emotions, relationships is so raw and real and beautifully told. I fell in love with Veiled in Smoke. It was really well done and led me right into the second book in the series, which I was quite excited to read. And actually, this book is what got me into the series. I didn't read it first, but it had released, and because I've written about the White City, the Chicago World's Fair of 1893, I was really excited to see this new book on the series. It came out a few years ago, but it was new to me. But I had already done my book several years ago, and I knew I wanted to read this one, but when I read a series, I do like to start at the beginning, which is why I went and got Veiled in Smoke and started there, and I'm so glad I did. And I was really looking forward, though, to reading this Shadows of the White City. I absolutely love the cover, and it just really puts you right in the White City. This is a few decades after the first book, so the characters are older now. It's still the sisters. It follows the journey of one sister and her adopted daughter, especially. And I learned even more about the World's Fair than I knew before. Some hidden details and other things that happened at the fair, other exhibits, the grand parade near the end. It was really spectacular. And so I enjoyed this so much from the perspective of that it was set in the White City. And there's also an intriguing mystery. And again, those family relationships that I love so much in a novel. It wraps up with book 3, the last one in this trilogy, which is Drawn by the Current. And that's the one I read most recently. And oh my goodness, I love, love, love it. Again, these covers are just fantastic and the stories do not disappoint. What I loved about this main character, Olive, in this, she's the daughter of one of the sisters. So again, we're going forward and experiencing another Chicago disaster of this steamship that tipped over while it was tied to the dock on a non-stormy day. And how Jocelyn captured what Olive goes through as one of the passengers during the actual event and the aftermath is heart-wrenching for anyone who's gone through that kind of traumatic situation. Again, love the time period. One of the things that really caught me with this book is it wasn't easy answers. Like sometimes with books, the characters, you want to slap them. You're like, that was dumb, and you got yourself into that trouble. But this situation that Olive is in, it really had me thinking, what would I do in that situation? And there's very few books that do that. I really loved the time period, the setting, the characters, and how well drawn they are. And the storyline itself really had me captivated from the first page to the last. So that is my review of the Windy Saga series, the Windy City Saga series. Really brief. I wasn't going to go in depth on the storylines and the characters, just how the stories made me feel and what I appreciated about them. I love a good historical fiction, and that's always been my favorite genre to read, and it's my primary genre that I write now. And whenever I can find amazing historical fiction authors like Jocelyn Green, I love going through their books and their backlist. I'm looking forward to doing that with Jocelyn Green's and reading more of her books. I hope you check out her series, the Windy City Saga series, and you may find some other books by her that you like. Feel free to leave a comment on your favorite historical fiction authors and what those elements are that really draw you in, like family relationships and just the realistic situations. Are two things that I really appreciated about this series. Drop a comment and I will talk to you again soon. Chibi Salachiki.